Hey y'all, it's Tracy Bass here for the program evaluation presentation. If y'all lose my beautiful face, it's because my webcam keeps going in and out, but I'm going to keep talking. Anyway, my program evaluation was on the Family Caregiver Respite Grant Program, which is an existing program that is offered through the New Hanover County Senior Resource Center where I intern. The program is a respite grant program which provides respite for family caregivers, and it doesn't have to be a family caregiver of a care recipient that has a particular type of illness. Some of the grant programs that are out there for respite are focused around dementia-related illnesses, but this Family Caregiver Respite Grant Program does not have that limitation. So, of course, the target population will be family caregivers, and the social problem with family caregiving are very high, prolonged, elevated periods of stress. There's also research that shows that family caregiver health declines, especially over an extended period of time of caregiving. Oftentimes, the family caregiver's health can decline quicker than the care recipient. It just depends on the illness and the amount of stress associated in that particular caregiver. One of the things that I looked at when I was collecting data and doing literature review was the percentage of women that were family caregivers, and the majority of family caregivers are women. At least about 75% is what the statistics show overall. And out of that, about 40% are spouse, and the other are adult children caregivers. A family caregiver can be defined as a person who gives informal care in the home, unpaid, to a family member. And the difference between informal and formal care would be someone that's trained, certified, paid to come in and provide services, or to provide services in a facility or in a formal setting. And normally they're certified, licensed, etc., etc. Anyway, also the average age of the family caregiver, it varies from study to study, but most of the time it's somewhere around between 50 and 60 years of age. So what that looks like is that we have older adults around retirement age, usually caring for older adults who are also around retirement age or over. But the average age of the care recipient is generally somewhere around 75 years of age is the median. So that's a little bit about the social problem. Another social problem that I found in practice is that not a lot of people are on the respite care bandwagon. It's not widely known that there are grants available for respite care. Respite care can be offered in the home. It can also be offered in a facility such as an adult daycare or a PACE program, which is a program all-inclusive care for the elderly, and that home health care agencies generally provide respite service as well. But one of the issues with that is that it is extremely expensive. So the grant programs provide respite that are free to the family caregiver. Another problem with the grant programs too is that they don't often offer a whole lot of time for respite, and that is the case with this particular respite grant that we offer through the Senior Resource Center. But when I was looking over the literature, at the Senior Resource Center, we have a family caregiver support group, which would fall under a psychoeducational, social format. It could also be considered peer-led because oftentimes in that support group, the family caregivers are actually really running the group, which is the way it should be too. But one of the good parts about the family caregiver support group is that we do offer education. Almost at every support group, we have a guest speaker from the community. It could be, we've had people from the different home care agencies. We've had people come from assisted living. We've had healthcare providers, gerontologists, other agencies that provide services, even other agencies that provide respite care, mental health. We've had exercise gurus come in, just a variety of things to offer the family caregiver some educational tools, also some more resources that they could utilize within their community. So that's one of the interventions that is common in a lot of areas, are the psychosocial, psychoeducational formats, such as support groups. I've been very fortunate to have played a significant role in the family caregiver support group at the Senior Resource Center, and facilitated a couple of the sessions. And one of the things that I brought to the group was the use of mindfulness, meditation, and yoga practice in everyday life to help reduce stress and have another outlet other than just educational material or support group, something that they could do at home anytime, pretty much. It was well received by the group. I was super excited about that. So I wanted to sort of look at what interventions were done out there using mindfulness, yoga, mindfulness-based stress reduction, which I am a huge fan of. And I did find two pieces of research. One was a pilot study of yoga and meditation intervention for dementia caregiver stress. And then the other one was actually mindfulness-based stress reduction for family caregivers. And this was a controlled trial. And one group was intervened with mindfulness-based stress reduction, and then the other group received what is known as CCES, which is Community Caregiver Education and Support. And that's what I would describe our support group at the New Hanover County Senior Resource Center to be. It's more along those lines. But the results from the mindfulness-based stress reduction were awesome. It showed that the mindfulness-based stress reduction was more effective at improving overall mental health, reducing stress, and decreasing depression than the CCES program. But both of them improved caregiver mental health and improved anxiety, social support, and burden. And then the pilot study, and that particular mindfulness-based study was the first of its kind, and it actually spanned a total of 3 years. I'm hoping more people will do some more research. Maybe I will. I don't know. But anyway, there's some good literature out there on family caregiving. There's one of the limitations with the research, and I noted this in my analysis, is the fact that most of the sample sizes are really small, and it's just extremely difficult to measure this population because of the responsibilities that they have to their family, and getting people together to participate in a really huge study can be challenging, to say the least. So this is how I did it. What we do with this form is we go out, do the assessment, and one of the questions is question number 28. How stressful for you is caregiving on a scale from 1 to 5? 1 very low, 5 very high. So this part was already done for me, because what I did is I went and I took all of the family caregivers who had received the Family Caregiver Respite Grant, which is 30 hours of respite care. We do like for it to be used generally within a 90-day period. We'll let you go up to 6 months, but we want you to communicate that to us. We just go in, do the assessment, and we have 2 separate service providers. One is elder care, which I talked about earlier, and the other is rest care. So the family caregiver is going to receive services from one of those 2 service providers. So the assessment had the score already. So those scores were there for me. Let me flip over here so you can see. So I took all the scores from, I was able to contact 15 of the 20 participants who participated. When I say participated, received the 30-hour grant, used or was in the process of using the majority of the hours when I conducted the evaluation. Got their scores in, then I did a telephone survey. So I called all 20 of the participants who received the care between September of 2016 and February of 2017 and asked them the same question, in addition to a patient or client satisfaction survey that I did on the side for the Senior Resource Center, which I wanted to do. And I wish I could have gone more in depth, but there just wasn't time. So then I got that score from 15 of the 20 recipients, and I came in and I put them in my post-test scores. And then I totaled everything, and as you can see here, the Family Caregiver Respite Care Grant Program actually did reduce stress levels in the family caregiver. One of the things I did notice, and this is a limitation, is the difference between the service providers. It seemed as though the participants who received one particular service provider actually had maybe a little bit better scores than the other recipients who their care was provided by the second service provider. And I won't say which is which for the purpose of this evaluation, but it wasn't that difficult to collect the data. Like I said, I already had a baseline from the assessments that had already been done by the social worker, so I just had to go back and ask them again. It was interesting to get their responses, but I did enjoy this evaluation. As you all know, I am a family caregiver as well for both of my grandparents. So this was really, I think it impacted me, well, definitely professionally, but personally as well. And the interactions that I've had with family caregivers has just been extremely positive. And I understand what respite means, and as a family caregiver. And so I can relate to the family caregivers that we serve. 30 hours isn't a lot. You have to take it in 3+ hour increments. So, 10 days max. But hey, anything is better than nothing, right? So I encourage you to have open dialogue and conversation with your own families, your parents, your grandparents, and determine what aging and transitioning into older adulthood is going to look like for them. It can save you a lot of headache and a lot of frustration and a lot of elevated stress levels in the end. Thanks, guys. I see I lost you. You lost my face. Y'all have a good weekend.